Hey guys, I felt called to jump on here and get a little vulnerable, and I wanted to share. I wanted to go a little bit deeper into my sort of battle with, what I believe was a pretty serious state of depression, and how I actually overcame it through mindset and breathing. And I wanted to share this because there's, without a doubt, there's a lot of negative and dark sort of energy getting around at the moment. And there's a lot of lockdowns, a lot of people stuck inside and potentially struggling. So I wanted to share this, and it's not easy, but I feel like it needs to be done. So, and basically, ever since I was a little kid, I always had this deep, heavy sadness. It was like I was consumed by this dark, negative void, right? I felt like fully disconnected from people. I felt like super self-conscious. There was no real joy. I felt inferior towards other people. I felt different. I was just in this state of fear, right? And this fear literally consumed my mind to a point where there was no room for anything else. Like I couldn't think, I couldn't create. I was just so worried about what was going to happen next. That was all that was going on in my mind. And this kind of dark feeling hung with me for a long time. After school, I went traveling. Traveling was epic. And when I was traveling overseas, and what should have been like the best and happiest time of my life was, it was like I could never really enjoy myself because I always had this fear of what was to come. And it was like I was constantly on the verge of crying all the time. And I did not know why. Someone would say something and I would just take it so much to heart. And I had this resentment towards the world. I felt like the whole world was against me, right? I had this victim mentality. And when you have a victim mentality, it's like no matter how nice someone is to you, you genuinely believe that they're out to get you. And it's not the right way to be. And anyway, this went on for a long time, and I was in Canada living, and I hit a point where I'd been fighting it for so long that I just couldn't do it anymore. And I remember the moment when I just gave up. I was like, I can't do this. I'm like, why do I feel like this? I'm trying so hard to be happy, but I just couldn't. And I remember the moment where I went from this kind of bearable anxiousness to this wave just went over me and zapped everything out of my body. And my whole being was just this negative state, right? There was I couldn't think, I couldn't comprehend. There was no forwards, backwards. People would talk to me and I'd just be like, huh? There was nothing there. And it was such a lonely time. And I remember that moment when I fell into that state, I just ran to my room and just started crying. I was like, this isn't good. This really is not good. And this went on for about 4 or 5 months. And I was having nightmares. I was waking up in sweats and tears, just thinking I cannot do this. I cannot live another day like this. I don't know what the hell is going on. And, that's going lightly. I was very, very scared. And I remember searching on the internet, what is depression? How do you overcome? Has anyone overcome depression? There was answers if you're sad and tired, you probably have depression. Go outside and get some sunlight. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that shit. And I remember I reached out to someone who I saw was posting some stuff on social media around fear and mindset. And I basically reached out to her and said, hey, what are you doing? And she said, oh, I'm doing this program with a mentor. And I just said, get me on board, sign me up. I don't know what it is. I don't care. I need to change now. And long story short, I got involved in this program, and I had no idea it existed. And I started studying this man who I talk a lot about, Bob Proctor. And I guess I just resonated with him deeply. He started talking about these things like paradigms and mental programming and fear and, how you can be successful by following certain universal laws. And instantly, it was like I'd never been able to focus on anything else, but my whole attention just went, like, this is all I want to do. This is the key. Like, this is literally the fucking key. This isn't just some like mental health kind of program. This is a program to fully fix and change your mind, but also how to be successful and live an epic life and literally basically choose and create how the hell you want to live. I'm like, this stuff's insane. And, you know, he gets you to understand, you know, how the relationship of our conscious to the subconscious. And he started saying things like, you know, conscious awareness and, you know, develop understanding. You know, depression is just an idea. Develop understanding, that's the key. And I was like, understanding, awareness, like, what is this? And, you know, they don't teach this stuff at school. But I was just obsessed with it. I still am. And he helps you understand how, you know, I understood that my fear was basically, it was a state of being that was set up from internalizing, you know, constant negative thoughts and negative concepts. So I learned how to literally start reprogramming that fear. One of the main things that pulled me out of this depression was I completely removed the word depression out of my vocabulary. Completely. I stopped identifying with it. Right. And I just started, you know, he gets you to write out this vision of, you know, how you want to live, who you want to be, how you want to feel, and write it out in the present tense and just start reading it. Start reading it and start believing it. And it just seems absolutely ridiculous, but I just, you know, there was something inside of me that just said to do it. And I was doing it, and I just started, you know, repeating these statements and beliefs to myself. And then that's when I started getting into breathing and meditating. And very quickly, it was like that depression just sort of faded away, right? I stopped giving it energy. I stopped focusing on it. I started putting my energy into a new direction, and things changed so quickly, or reasonably quickly. You know, people say, you know, if you're in that state, it takes a long time to fix, but I don't believe that. I believe it can take a very short period of time with the right knowledge and understanding. So, you know, I still am obsessed with this, you know, 4 years later, and it's what I now teach. But the moral of this story is that there's a lot of surface level stuff out there when it comes to mental health and stuff like that. And I'm sure it's all great and it all has the right intentions. But my message to the world is stuff the surface level. You've got to get to the root cause and change that program, which takes conscious and deliberate shift in thinking, and it takes full responsibility. You've got to take responsibility for where you're at and choose that you're not going to identify with that anymore. And when you do this and you understand this process of how to reprogram your mind and how things work and how thoughts are energy and how the relationship of our mind to our body and the outside world, things change completely differently. Your life can go from that direction to that direction. And I just felt super cool to get this message out there. If anyone, you know, resonates with that, please reach out. I do teach now everything that I've learned, and it comes from the heart. Like, it's just, this stuff is so incredible. Like, imagine waking up each day not thinking, you know, oh God, I hope something bad doesn't happen, but literally choosing what you want to happen that day. This is what's going to happen, and this is what I'm going to do. Because life can be like that. And the only reason that seems ridiculous is because we're not programmed that way. We're programmed to think that life's meant to be hard, it's meant to be a struggle, it's meant to be tough. It is not, right? We are infinitely intelligent beings with infinite potential. Right? We're all connected, and there's no difference between us. There's no difference in potential between me, you, or anyone you see. Our mind is the most powerful thing. So, again, if this resonates, please reach out and get in touch. Yeah, this is really, really important stuff for everything that's happening right now. So if you're still here, thanks for watching. You're a legend, and I hope that helped, and I hope you enjoyed that. And yeah, I look forward to hearing from anyone who enjoyed that. All right, thank you.